Then this next paragraph goes like this. The state of perfect Buddhahood. This is already we read it. There's one is like kind of quotation, says the Arya Katayana, or the Arhat Katayana, he says. And friendships, enemies, enmity, two are from everlasting. And that means it's like a friend is not for lasting friend. Also, it's like the enmity is also not for last enmity. Sometimes friend also is changing, is become the enemies. And also enmities sometimes change, become the friend. Who is the friend? Who is the enmity? We don't know really. And in this perspective, what we need to do, constantly equally give our compassion and to develop compassion and try to diminish dualistic our minds. And because it's like which is correct, which is incorrect, it is difficult. One day while the Arhat Katayana was out on his army round, there came across a man with a child on his lap. It's like he's like kind of in the middle days, in the ancient times, monks, nuns, like Buddha's followers, they never keep food, anything's belongings, and drinks. When the necessary times, then they're coming out and to begging. And like this, his maybe arms around means it's like maybe he's coming across and for the lunch times, to begging for the lunch. And that time he saw some kind of the funny, or he met, it is like he or she, I'm really not sure, it's like who is, here is the his lap. But someone I heard, her his lap, her or he is her, I forgot. She or he or she. He is like man, yes? But I'm not sure, okay? He or she. But anyway, one person, there was like child under his lap. And then man is, of course, then we translators, they used, and he, and then said the man or woman, we don't know it, and was eating a fish with the great relish. And once a long time ago, in this I told to this history, I said this one person's eating like kind of the beef, and when we finish it, Kempo is running to me. Don't liars. What is this person's not eat fish, the beef. It's this person's eating fish. It's like this. It's that the truth. It's like it's eating fish with the great like kind of the religious like joyfully and happily with like very much appetitely and eating that. And nearby there is like a kind of the throwing stone at the beach that was trying to get at the bones. And also we have, there's a different kind of the doubt. And here it said this person's throwing stones. Maybe it's a stone or maybe his feet. And sometimes owners, these feet beat the dog hair. and dog is coming near and not stoned but beat the heat. This is like feet or stone, I'm not sure, but translations in Tibet is corresponding quite, it's okay. Then I make joke to the Lopon says, in the ancient there's one, like the book it says it's like feet. But now they changed the stones. I made this like stone and beated this, the head of this dog, tied to get at the bones. Dog want to try to get the piece of the maybe fish bone. And yes, I think it's dog eat fish bone. I'm not sure. It's very dangerous. Cat can eat? Cat can. But why not? It's like bears, they eat like a fish, but this bone is not problems. But it's maybe dog can eat, yes? Yeah, why not? Okay, love. Of course, why not? Very nice note says, why not? And like this, try to get the bone and beating like the throne and the stone. Hated it. At the master soul, which he's like the clairvoyance and like the realizations, however, was these things. This. And then it's like the fish had been the man's own father in that very lifetimes. And when he died and he reborn again fish, and the son killed and then is eating. And then is the beach had said, this beach is like a female dog, and being his mother in his like very lifetimes. And both parents died, reborn again, fish, and the dog. And of course, it's on the enemy he had killed in the past existence had been reborn as his son. Also, this child is also son. Who checked the like son or daughter? We don't know. Maybe son. Okay. And as the karmic repayment for the life the man had taken, Katayana carried out, and to saying something is like funny ways, ha 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 ha, like it's a way of the laughing in Sonia, you know. When she is very happy, she is laugh like this, ha 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 ha. But when she's not happy, her face is like this. Once I was so in the kitchen, I think she's making fire, but our gas is the gas. And I said, Olga, are you making the fire? She said, no, Rinpoche. But I couldn't see the smoking thing. But I need to go to help to. Oh yes, yes. Fire dragon. And Katayana also is a little bit laughing like this. Ha 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 ha. Why he's laughing? And then he's like kind of making the poetic way to say it. He eats his father's flesh. He beats his mother off. And he dandles on his lap the enemy that killed the wife is knowing at the husband's bone. I love to see what happened in samsaras, showing that like this kind of situations is possible. In this case, it's like what is this message? How we can to understand like this? Sometimes it's like what we are eating, what we are hurting, what we are doing, something needs to, very important to check them. Sometimes it says like enemies is not really enemies. Enemies is sometimes become your child, become your most lovers. And also it's like your father and mother, your best friends. Also it's like sometimes it's like maybe become some is like what you need to eat, what you want to kill. And the most becomes sometimes enemies. It's possible because everything is like changeable, everything is impermanent. And it's like this. Also this kind of the referent, it is like a kind of comparison. It is like we can to say it's like, oh, this person is hurting me. This being is I want to like kind of the kill. This being is like I want to get rid of the. Maybe without analyze, then it's like maybe these beings are most connected to the us. Maybe this being is like maybe in the periods, maybe our father, maybe mother, maybe our children, and maybe it's most like kind of affectionate relationships, friend or the families. And maybe someone is like we are falling in love, and really it's like you like concerning and want to help, want to give, and want to more like kind of cherish, and like something says, this is my friend, this is my family, this is my children, this is my like kind of relative. But maybe in the first worst kind of your strange things. And this kind of situation, many in the history of the Toson Detsen's daughter of the Pema Sal's, this Guru Rinpoche's, and she was young times died. King Toson Detsen asked to master of the Guru Rinpoche, and why is like my daughter this happened? She's a lucky daughter. She reborn and to my daughter, and she met many great masters. But unluckily, she died. It's a very short way. But this Guru Rinpoche says not to, like the connection of with you and your daughter is not a positive way. It's like kind of the negative way. And on the past, when you was in Nepal, and your daughter was like kind of mosquito, and mosquitoes butting to in your some in the place, and you like killed, and this repayment to you, and this time the young died. It's kind of making suffering, and need to repayment. He needed to taking care, and finally also it's like a kind of make such suffering. This kind of happened in my village. And one guy and one monk, they are very much dislike. And then finally they are fight. And then this village guy, he killed this monk. And of course, very bad. And then is Dzogchen Chense was there. And one day Dzogchen Chense this cradle. And then these monks' families asked to the Dzogchen Chense, and how is his next rebirth. And then he make joke, next rebirth is he's going to reborn again this killer guy's child. And then is this killer, after the few years he's married, and his wife was pregnant and was son. And then it's like when the son is born, and Dzogchen Chense again repeater says, oh, this monk today is born. Really? Say everybody. And then, of course, then this boy is reborn, and the killer, he need to take care, responsibility. And he, of course, give food, clothes, take care, give education. Then this boy is like become the probably 10 years, 11 years or something. And he want to catch a horse in the wild animals. And horse sometimes very dangerous. And his children is like stupid. His rope put in his body, and half rope connect to the horse's saddle. And then it's certainly this horses and tail something happened. Horse is afraid to run, and then horse drag like 2 rounds, and turning around. Of course, this horse completely killed this child. And then certainly he found his son, but dead. Of course, smashed his body. And then he's holding like this. It's a repayment of the karma. It's inconceivable. And I killed, if according to Dzogchen chances, I killed my enemies, reborn on my sons, and I looked after him how many years, and it's a day and night when he was a child. I love him very much. This life is my son, I say. But now he gives me such sufferings. He's like so much suffering. And I heard still he's like very much miss him. And sometimes he looks like going to mad something. And it's very strong relations, like with the father and the son. And then finally he's give big sufferings. And this kind of sometimes it's like we don't know how it is a karmic and samsaric situations is like this. Everything is changing. And therefore it's like when we practice compassion and says, this is my family, this is my friend, this is my society, I need compassion to them. Or these are my enemy. These are like maybe who is your enemy, who is the family or friends. We don't know. In this case, like equally, impartially to concern all the sentient beings. And also, it's like another, according to this message, whoever connected to the hours, dog, cats, like this says domestic like animals. Even the children's husband, wife, whatever you connected, maybe there's such karmic connections. Maybe it's the positive repayment, and maybe it's like kind of the negative repayment. And in this case, there is something connections, and we need to more care, more concerning like this. And then it's wonderful to think in the impermanent, to concerning the both enemy and the friends, to give to them is like compassion, virtue, take care. And that is the small and the details. Okay, and then it's the next paragraphs. Even within one lifetime, it is the often happens that sworn enemies are the later reconciled, and they make the friend. They may even become the part of each other's families and end up closer than anyone else. And like this, sometimes also enemies is like kind of our opposite challenges. And we say it's like they are challenged, they are like our enemies. Sometimes our enemies is like kind of I don't know why they are translated, sworn enemies. Sworn is enemies, is like kind of I sworn, it swears. But it's like enemies is like worst enemies. Here means maybe it's the killer of your father and mother. And this kind of sometimes your enemies. Some in that, there's the like kind of the reconciles, or how to call the reconcile. It is like kind of to make the peace, to make the harmony, and some in the like judge or something is you become the friend. And then sometimes they make the like kind of big connections. and to like sometimes even you married, become the partners, and then you call the dear love. It's like something. But in the before, maybe the worst enemy, the ending is like most you're like the lover won't become. Like this, who knows? It's like everything is impermanent. It is the changeables, become the like part of the each other, say the families, and most closest, anyone says most closest, best, and like the friend say, who is the enemies, who is the friend, and who is close, we don't know like this. In this perspective, for our like say, think everything is impermanent and is changeable. In this perspective, is like what is the enemy, what is the family, and also is whoever connect to need to taking care, and like this. And also it's like on the other hand, people immediately linked by the blood or the marriage often argue and do each other as much as harm as they can for the sake of the some trivial positions or the purposes in inheritance or inheritance. Inheritance is like kind of portions. And of course, it's like sometimes it's like parents or friends, and it's like this sisters, brothers, brother and sisters. They are also it's like very much impermanent. And also it's like first time is really love each other very much. And then certainly some small kind of the trivial positions here, and like kind of some material things. Maybe it's like belongings, house, monies, teas, and jewels, and this sort of, and properties, and like animals, and a little bit, maybe it's like cars, according small things. And then they argue. It even the sometimes same parents, brothers, sisters, also they're killing each other, and like kind of small property things. And everything is like impermanent. And in this case, it's like there is nothing kind of forever, nothing kind of permanent, nothing there's existence, something stabilities. And in this case, it's like myself also is like impermanent. And it's like maybe this is this person's disturbed to me. I want to be angry. I want to make strange mood. Maybe this disturber is your best friend. Maybe most helpful for you. Maybe we think this is my close, good, my lover, and my like kind of. Maybe this is maybe worst giver of the obstacles, and also both sides to like kind of the be tolerant, and also it's like to be practiced immediately, not necessarily to change, and those connections angrily, hatedly, lovely, friendly, animal way, or everything's equally to a treat to them, and by your compassion, by your kindness, and to think about impermanent, to think that today this person's my enemy, but who knows, tomorrow maybe it's become my best friend. Today is this one's my best friend and very good my family, but who knows, tomorrow it's become the worst enemy. And this thing is like externally everything is impermanent. Myself is also impermanent. Most important, I need to practice compassion, Dharma. That's like this. Why? You are laughing. Just my mood. Okay, can you wake up me? Can you argue with me? Philosophy argumentation. And be very happy. In the logically. logical argumentation.
Rinpoche, I don't have argumentation, but I have a question to you. So yesterday you kind of gave us a homework to examine things and see if there is like something objective there. So, I mean, I failed to find something objective there, but then the question that I have is, what is it that makes all of us, let's say, perceive that one thing, although we perceive it in a different ways? What is it that makes us see the cup, like all of us commonly?
Then it's your perspective. Do you think we have like there's something common like object exist?
Like examining it, I fail to find it.
You think it's existing, yes?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then it's how? It's your own understanding? We have many common appearances. Okay, if you are really to ordinary perspective, it's a very good, thanks your question. And it's outside you ask, it's because in this land, this house, this table, this mandala, this is our common like kind of object. You perceive like this, I perceive this, everybody perceives like this. Then everybody's concern, there is common object. Almost if you are not philosophy, you never learn Dharma, you cannot argue. And you whatever look this, there is object. And then you choose and say, okay, yes. If you say it's like I'm not sure, really there is something common object or not, I have doubted that they think you are mad. But it's you really to research, to analyze. It is how it is. It is a wonderful research. And this kind of, it's a philosophy. This is like kind of very good. Really, its mind is concerning them. Like we never ever to analyze. Then we think, yeah, it's a flower, it exists, this house exists. Mandala is there, it's like this. You see, I see, we have many common objects, these things. And it's like, for example, we can to analyze, to really, I think it's very difficult to say there is a common thing's existence. I'm often to say, for example, if you behind there is hundreds projectors, and each projector, okay, film projectors, each inside same picture. If not same picture, of course different, but same picture, and all the hundreds projectors projecting this inner picture in this wall. And then is each this projector perspective, when they see that there's a common object, in each one inside this picture have like this, then project like on the wall. There is. Then this is which kind of this projector. We don't know, but there is like object of this Vajra is projected by the project machine. But then it's like you take out one project. Now it's left, there's 99 projectors. This 99 projector, they're stayed, but one is a machine is took out. In this individual project is not anymore theirs. It's kind of disappeared, but there is others. For example, 100 this project is take out. Then now in the world there is. There's still this picture? No projectors. There's no picture. And in this perspective, we have tendencies, habitual tendencies. Habitual forming, imprinting, like each moment. This is also wonderful things. We are kind of searching how you can to habitual forming, imprinting by the red, white, blue. And this is the like kind of the printing these inks. We in mind this habitual forming imprint inside. Then we call the perception in a picture. This is generally we call the perception. This is we call the habitual patterns. This is tendencies. And these tendencies shine out from the mind. Then it's very much similarities. And we have same as patterns, tendencies. Then it's the humans, we can to see each other. We can to very much similarities there is. As we can see the water, same as we call the water. It's when we drink, we have same as the feeling, everybody's water. But the water is ourselves was water. The receiver, the water is someone's water is perceived sentient beings. Maybe it's the kind of the mud, or maybe blood, maybe it's earth, maybe stone. Maybe it's like they say different. Maybe waters they perceive the earth, they digging, they living inside. Water as not was water for them, some habitual tendencies, water is different. Because this is like kind of the your individual, the habitual tendencies and patterns is a shine out. And also all of our human beings is like similarity shine out. Then we have similarity pattern and a concept and different like a similarity of the appearances, opinions, behaviors and patterns. But one inner our like minds, these patterns, habitual tendencies disappeared. Maybe different change. There's no anymore humans patterns. Humans like tendencies, maybe we can't see the human. Even though we be in the human societies, we can't see human. Maybe we see some what is our appearances. We can perceive many different things. And also this is good things. When we be in the after the impermanent, according that we can to say impermanent. After the impermanent, when we be in the middle of the intermediate state, pardon. And at that moment also we have appearances, many different appearances. There is like kind of very bizarre appearances, and we all the time is like there's a kind of two ideas. One appearance is make to happy something, we have desire attachment. One appearance is make terrified to us, it's make kind of the angers. But reality is your individual, like kind of yourself appearances. There's nothing in the state, in the intermediate state part. There's no continent. There's nothing kind of realms. It's maybe also same as this. And that moment is like if you recognize all these appearance, self appearances, then you don't need to reject or don't need to accepting something is like this. And in this perspective, it's like how do you say? It's like more necessarily to recognize, and also it's like some in this instruction, these explanations. Maybe it's like according to your habitual tendencies, you have so many different variety of the appearances. Maybe you perceived like kind of looks like how, but alive. Maybe looks like a rock, but it's talking to you. Maybe head is the animal, but body is maybe humans. And maybe its arm looks like tails, like a fairy tale, exactly like this. This kind of appearance is coming. Maybe we think, there is something. Then it will become confused. We become like kind of the suffering, terrified, afraid. And in this case, it's when we learn right now, it's like really there's a common something object, or these all appearances are the self-appearances. And it's like really there's nothing truly existence externally. There's nothing existence like something common objected. It's like, okay, we are project a similarity picture inside. We can to see something like this, but not. Of course, this is like difficult to. It's it's realized also like determined minds. We need to more analyze, to check. And also it's like one which is the explanation of the Uttaratantra. It says, when you be in the dream world, and there's a single consciousness, like projected that there's unrestricted phenomena, same as during the days, during the night. You have like during the night, in the dreams, there's one single consciousness, but you see the appearances. There's a mountain, lake, and mother, beans, many yellow, blue, everything is there. At that moment, is a root. This project is only single mind. But there in the dream world, the same as today. But then it's like in the morning, wake up, where it is those pictures, those meadows, mountains, lakes, sky, solar system, where is dissolved? But it's mind. And the same is like also during the day, we need to concerning. Of course, it's very much deep kind of things. These are like really dream. They are like a really hallucination. These appearances are really my self appearances. And it's necessary to concern. It's a good question. It's I couldn't find it's a common something object. Are you disagreement or not? Or agreement or disagreement? Agree. Okay, this is a good question. Okay, Chloe, and very much thanks for your question yesterday, our homework.
To continue with his question, is it then that the Buddhas, they can perceive each sentient being's personal imprints? For instance, can a Buddha see the mandala from my perspective? The shape I see, the colors I see here, this side?
Then what do you say your question?
Is a Buddha, like we say, is omniscient, wisdom permeating?
Omniscient. Can a little bit like this? I can't. Yes.
Yes, it's better. Closer.
Too much closer.
Is it like this? I was wondering, like now we are saying that because we are human beings, we have some similarities in our imprints. We can talk about this mandala, for instance, and a fish will not be able to do that. Then I was wondering if Buddhas, because we say they are omniscient.
Omniscient.
Buddhas?
And?
I was wondering if they can permeate all the different ways of seeing, all the different perceptions of all beings, like.
Maybe Kembo he got it your very much close then is. Yes. Okay. And Kembo clarified your questions. Your question says the one is omniscient perceive the six realms appearances. And can is omniscient to perceive these six realms appearances? No, this is your wonder, yes? You say yes or no?
Yes, somehow.
She make happy to use yes. Okay, but then your question is?
I was just, it's exactly like this, but I was taking the example of this mandala, for
Okay,
instance.
mandala.
Because we don't see the same side.
Yeah, we can't to see the same side.
What?
No, then go on.
Then I consider you as a Buddha. I'm wondering
I consider you as a Buddha.
If you can I'm considering you as a Buddha. I'm wondering if you can see the face I'm seeing.
I not myself, but omniscient, the enlightened, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Tago. She said this like that. I can to see this mandala, but I can't to see the behind. But you can to see your front, but you are all omniscient. Also, you can to see the behind. As omniscient, her wonder is omniscient to see that also in the behind. That is her question. And it's not me, but it's, yes, enlightened can to see that transparently. Okay? But this is not our really is connect to the questions. Our question is like common object. This is our common object, but this mandala is ordinary. Our perspective, mandala is there, but this is not mandala. It's a reality. Maybe there's existence, maybe not existence. I perceive something, you perceive something, everybody perceives something, but maybe there is something. Maybe our self-appearance is coming out, and to look at it, then there's a similarity of there's something, but there's a common object, mandala, substantially existent. If you say, we can't find. But we need to more research.
So you just said our imprints coming out.
Yes.
These Buddhas, they can understand all imprints.
This is Buddhas, doesn't
kind
matter. Buddha, okay? Buddha, we don't need to check, pass exam. We already examined Buddha, okay? Forget it. Important is we are researching now. We are like kind of common object. There is, for example, Buddha said it's like everything is like a dream. Everything is hallucination. Everything is like externally. This is like almost what you say your self-appearances. Self-appearances. In according like this, just the habitual tendency is a tendencies. Mind is projecting. No existence of the samsara nirvana. The six realms is not truly existence, but mind can project. According to the mind, you have these appearances, but these external appearances, there's not truly existence. Then it's now we are researching that. For example, it's a Polish philosophies. They say it's difficult to find the common object. For example, if we have common object, the human realms, common object of the hell realms, common object of the hunger ghost realms, common object of the animals realms, truly something existence, we should to make a bomb to destroy it. We don't need this common object place. Then if we can to destroy it, then nobody's need to go to there. Why we need to go to there? But you're according to each individual's mind's patterns, how we can to make a bomb? Impossible. Then is you need to like your each individual patterns, tendencies. You need to purify it, like the tendency of in order to receive the appearances of the hell, hunger, ghost, animal, is the six realms. You purified your habitual tendencies, patterns, tendencies. There's, in this perspective, there's no appearances of there's no place. It's like, I'm just to say that you have most philosophies. There's from some ordinary people, if you need to say, oh, there is hell is existing, oh, there is pure land is existing, oh, there is something. Then there's people, the philosophers, really to learn the Buddha's like kind of the logicals, philosophies, and they don't believe it. Only the six realms is your self appearances. That is we are now searching, okay?
Can I ask another?
Yes.
If I want to actualize this view, and
which view?
this perfect view that nothing
Perfect
is truly
view what?
existent, nothing is inherently existent, and it's only my projections that I perceive,
Yes.
and all this.
And then you need to analyze the
Yes.
projector.
Yes.
You don't forget it like that one. Some philosophies, they analyze, yes, that is true. External, there is not truly existence. But who said? Say itself also is, if there is no object, then how you have subject? And then you need to, it's the sayer itself. Then it's a wonderful is coming.
Then what about compassion? Because we are supposed to to take care about beings, and beings have their own perceptions. So do we need to understand their perceptions?
This is true. In the relatively, you don't believe still now. It's like this one is really you are still there is. We really not actualize the realization of the, as you say, the perfect view. Then we stuck. We cannot go through the wall. We cannot go to the like this. There is something exactly like same as the dreams. In the dream, you be in the front of the rock or the wall. You have this dualistic, this is existence that you cannot go through.
So,
but if you realize it, in the dream, this rock is not truly existent. You can go through. You can to fly in the rock.
So perfect compassion, is it to actualize this view?
Perfect compassion, analyze the impermanent. It can to approach. Someone is like kind of one, you have a realization, and then you see the other sentient beings. They never ever constantly like this. They think everything is exists externally. Then you have more compassion to them. Then you need compassion because yourself is you understood. For example, some children, they make caca themselves. They look back, that is delicious. They eat back. But they don't know that you knows that.
But this good and bad, this is also my own perception then.
No, that is, you need to realize that. You need
common
compassion.
Appearance? This child is common appearance.
Yeah, other questions? Robert, do you have questions?
Okay, I've been trying to formulate this question, so I'm sorry if I will try to make myself understand. We say in the beginning, human lifespan was very long, and almost like humans was like clear lights, almost. And
Clear
now,
light.
yeah, human beings.
Okay.
And now lifespan is shorter. But my question is, these negative actions or accumulation of habitual tendencies, why did they start in the first place?
It started.
How did they start with these kind of negative actions? Or was it birth or was it action?
First, there is a subtle negative emotion we call the inherent ignorant. Have you heard? Primordial ignorant. Co-emergency ignorant. This is known, it's very subtle, like same as the beginning is how it's human beings become like diluted. And this is subtle, it's a co-emergency ignorant, a little bit like kind of make confusions. Then there's a formation. And then formations make strong dualistic the mind. Then there is called the labeling ignorant. Labeling ignorant, then is rough, then the disturbing emotions start beginning.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And we can to stop 5 minutes. And the course asked us, he said, thank you. Then it's okay. Others, doesn't matter.